What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Joe here with Kramzer. We're doing another music review because there's just a bunch of albums out lately that we wanted to get to. Today, a favorite of Kramzer and I's, Lana Del Rey. We had to review it. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Not a question, because there's no question mark. It's just a statement, I guess. Her ninth album, her first since 2021, Blue Banisters, which was one of two albums from that year from her. So she's been quite prolific lately. And this one's 16 tracks, 77 minutes long. So apparently she had a whole bunch of new songs tucked away for this. You know, it's another Lana Del Rey. It has 7 different producers, but it's her vision. And there's less Jack Antonoff. There's still a lot of Jack Antonoff, but less than there has been. So that's always a plus for me. You love Lana physically.
I actually don't. I get a lot of shit. They're like, everyone's like, "Oh, you just think you're hot." I'm like, I actually don't think she's that attractive.
Well, you
I mean,
love
I
her
know.
music. You love
Yeah, fuck yeah,
her
dude.
her
She's like my favorite
personality,
artist of like the
her
last 20
lyricist.
years.
Okay, so you're in love with her. I like her a lot. Plenty of 4-star, a couple 5 stars in there for me. I mean, she made a bunch of our top 5s for album of the year, tons of song of the year. Like, I mean, we both really like Lana Del Rey. So,
Yeah.
did you
And
really like? Did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard?
I had no idea about the tunnel, but I did have an idea going into this that this would be a very good album, and it is. It's great. I'm going 4.5. She just can't really, like, as long as she just keeps doing what she's doing, she's never gonna make an album less than great for me. And she's still kind of playing off that thing she's pretty much done since Norman Rockwell, where it's like all about like it's kind of like decaying love lust American mythology. This one's probably a little bit more autobiographical, and probably a little more truthful. I don't really think she beats around the bush as much here and gets as playful. A lot of reviews are saying it's her best album, which I don't think is true, but it is probably her most mature. I'll agree with that. She really seems like this is some sort of like graduation with her. But she's got that sound that's not a departure from her previous albums. It's really whimsical yet grounded. It's got all the allure and sexuality and grandeur of her previous albums. I just love that big sweeping sound she's got without things getting loud or intense. Like these songs are relatively slow moving and soft and have like a jazz lounge nature, but the levity of everything, and a lot of it is in the production. And granted, it's usually a big red flag when you see 7 producers on an album. But like you said, it's her vision. She's kind of just directing traffic like a composer, like getting every little thing she wants out of each producer. And you can hear it. You really can. The detail's fantastic. Yeah, so that's right off the bat. It's interesting because usually there's probably like 6 or 7 tracks on all of the albums of hers that I love that blow me away and stick out. This one doesn't really play like that. It's much more of an album experience. There are definitely like really good songs, but none of them that I think are like album song of the year kind of worthy. You will be happy on with me here. I think for the first time ever, maybe on the channel, all the little interlude pieces distract from this. I think this album would make more of a statement if they cut all that out and just had, like 10 really good, just heartfelt, here I am, I'm the best songwriter in the world right now, boom. Instead of like these little 1 minute intervals of this and that. And they're not bad. Like I don't not enjoy them, but I do think it distracts. I think the album would just be a lot more powerful. It was just her, boom, here are my songs done, which is kind of what she did on Chemtrails in 2021, which I really liked. Yeah, I love a lot of the production choices. I love those backing like gospel-esque vocals on the Grants opening it up. I think the title track is magnificent. I think she's one of the best lyricists in the world right now. I love the fuck me to death, love me until I love myself line. And that's kind of her strength, isn't it? Like she's really vulnerable and makes herself pathetic in such an endearing and pure kind of way. It's probably, like I said, her most mature album. Like it doesn't have the fireworks and the bangs like that she usually does, but it's like she's coming to some sort of like mega realization that she can now, after this album, like officially take like a more professional stance and mentor younger like songwriters and younger women and stuff, and how to be a girl in America or whatever she's trying to pull off. but he's just not really messing around. I love the song A&W. The piano rules. Anytime she does that ashy whisper, I absolutely love it. Candy Necklace is awesome. It's really haunting and full of tension, just gorgeous. I do think the album could use just a touch bit more percussion, a little bit more energy behind it. I think it's hard to keep focus for the 77 minutes or whatever. I love Paris, Texas. I think Grandfather, Please Don't Stand on the Shoulders of My Father While He's Deep Sea Fishing is a ridiculous title, but it's got a tremendous melody, and I love the misty percussion that comes in. And it's cool because that song has like a really unique inside story. I feel like a lot of her tales of love gone awry before, she kind of embellishes or makes sound cool. This one seems a little bit more down to earth, which I like. There is some more bouncier stuff that comes in at the end, like Fishtails. I love that song. I think Let the Light In is very good. And the way that Peppers comes off, which is kind of about like her and her boyfriend listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers, is super cool. How it kind of trails off in the end and the drums and the bass kind of take off in this weird kind of like trip hop kind of fashion almost is super cool. So yeah, I'm going 4.5. I don't think it's 5-star perfect because I think it's missing just a, you got to get rid of those interludes I didn't like, and maybe a couple. Like I don't think any of her 10 best songs ever are on this album, but I don't really have any other complaints about that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going 4 stars. I like it, I think, better than her last two, better than Blue Banisters and Chemtrails. I thought those she was like a little too comatose in those, and some of the songs just sort of like lapsed into like whispery nothingness. Like other than White Dress, like there wasn't enough there, and it's just sort of like too languid. And this one feels a little more, I don't know, worked on. I think the production and all the like, I mean, there's a million different artists and a million different instruments going on here, and it's never like overcrowded. I think all of the elements work really well together. All the pianos and the mellotrons and the synths and the acoustic guitars and everything that they're throwing in. I mean, if you saw like the 7 producers and like 3 songwriters on every, you'd think this like this big overblown mess, but it like it's very understated, but everything is just like in the perfect like right place. Her lyrics are still fantastic. I love the lines in the grants. Do you think about heaven? Do you think about me? My pastor told me when you leave, all you take is your memories. Take mine of you with me. Like it's such like a pretty little like simple kind of thing. Like you'd think someone had written that already, but it just works so well. It's not profound, but it's just like perfect. And I love the gospel, the backing vocals. It's just very soulful. Love the piano. There's just a lot of, I think there's a little more variety than there has been on her more recent albums. Like you get like that little touch of like Born to Die, a couple songs that kind of have like the rapping, like Peppers has that like trip hop kind of feel to it. Fishtail and Peppers sort of back to back have that sort of like throwback to her early like hip hop influence. I think Candy Necklace has a little bit of that like ultra violence, like darkness. I really like all the guest stars, John Batiste, SYML on Paris, Texas. I
And
think,
they're all very understated, like you said, all
yeah,
the
they
guest
don't take
appearances.
over. It's still Lana's show. But I really like the duet with Father John Misty on Let the Light In. Just that whole song is so well produced and made and composed. Like it's got that 70s feel where there's so much going on, and yet it all feels like perfectly in its spot where it's supposed to be, like the little flourishes of acoustic guitar and the multiple keys that never overwhelm anything. It's still like spotlight is on Lana, and it all the things around her just sort of push the focus right to Lana, and
Yeah.
which is where it should be. I mean, it's her album, it's her show. She still has great ideas. Like I don't think she's running short on inspiration at all. And other than the little interludes, I think Taco Truck times VB, which is like a Venice beat or Venice bitch, like interpolation. Like I don't know what exactly it is, but something like that's not needed. You could easily trim 15 minutes off this album without losing too much. But I just think it's really nice. Sweet is like really understated, sweet little ballad. And then Kintsugi, nice and hopeful. So there's like a gamut of emotions that she's running through. Fingertips has some great orchestration. I don't know. I just think she's basically at this point, and maybe Jack Antonoff deserves some credit too. Just a master of this style. Like she just does it so well. But it's always interesting. I don't think she's like falling back on her laurels or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, this is just classic Lana. It's her era. It's the Lana era, and she just keeps producing these strong 4+ star albums, and seems like she can do it in her sleep. But yeah, I like this one a lot.
And good call on like the little production touches just being perfect. Because like you said, you look at a song and you're like, you look at the credits for it and you're like, why are there 31 instruments on one song? But it's like a Bob Ross painting where he has like 9 different shades of brown, and one of them is just for that little bird in the distance in the corner, like, and you're like, okay, so it's still just a picture of a forest, but like the details like don't overwhelm anything. It's great. Because I was pretty nervous about that, where I was like, it's not just her and Jack Antonoff anymore. Like this is gonna get bad. But
Yeah, I think she pretty much nails it, the whole dang thing. Did you like it more than Chemtrails or Blue Banisters, or around there?
I probably like it a little bit more than Blue Banisters, but not Chemtrails. Chemtrails was
Nothing,
5 for me.
yeah, nothing quite like White Dress to like just blow you away. A little more understated. Although I do think Grandfather, Please Stand on the Shoulders of My Father While He's Deep Sea Fishing has an incredible vocal performance. Like she does that like head singing, not quite like what she was doing in White Dress, but she gets way up there. She's doing like these roller coaster drops and slurs, and it's I thought it was a
We
really impressive
take
performance.
we take her for granted as a vocalist 'cause we don't even talk about her when we review her anymore. But that's fantastic.
I mean, yeah, her vocals are just perfect. Like I don't think I've ever had a negative thing to say about her vocals, whether it's like that fucked up like Disney princess, like comatose style, or just blowing you away with that like super high head singing. What everything she does seems to just hit the nail on the head. At least in my eyes. Plenty of people don't get her, and that's fine. But
Jason included.
Jason, much of the Patreon people, but I don't know. I just don't understand. They don't understand our Lana.
No, and it is ours. We can share.
All right, so there you go. Let's hear what you have to say about Lana Del Rey's newest album. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Leave your reviews in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel. For the love of God, please subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Patreon, become a patron, support us and what we do, which is talk glowingly about Lana Del Rey 50 to 75% of the time. And check us out on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check back. We got more reviews coming, so check back daily at least. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.